This chapter is titled Luffy versus Blueno, but it's about so much more than that. It's about having something or someone to fight for, and when you do, you're just that much stronger.
One Piece Chapter 383, Luffy versus Blueno.
Wonderful stuff, boy. Whew. Well, hello, my brothers and sisters of the Nerd Nation. I, as always, am Jimmy, here to bring you another review on just the excellent and awesome and just grandiose and scale tale of One Piece. Our last chapter saw us with really the main focus being on Spandam just being the piece of garbage that he is, and kind of kicking and punching and beating on Nico Robin as well as Franky. But really, the ending of the chapter was awesome in the sense that Luffy has gone through and searched every part of the island, and he's now gotten to the part where there's the gap between where he's at and the halls of justice, or the courthouse or whatever, of Enies Lobby, and Blueno appeared at the end of the chapter to, of course, stand in his way and stop him. Came through one of his portal-like air doors. So that is where things left off, and really that's right where things pick up. We go back and forth between the Luffy and Blueno thing for a while, and really it starts out with Blueno trying to go and give this big speech about how, you know, what Luffy and the gang are doing over there is basically declaring war on the world. You know, it's you're attacking Enies Lobby, which is the head of the world government. You know, or, well, obviously the gates to the world government and what have you. But it really is. It's like attacking a major country that has all these different backing countries behind it. There's 176 different nations that, you know, that kind of belong to the whole world government, you know, and buy into the whole shit. So basically, it's like declaring war on the world, coming and attacking Enies Lobby, right? We do wind up seeing, though, within the first few pages, and I thought this was nice, they show us the Galley-La foremen, Paulie and Tilestone and Lulu, who had obviously dropped behind to take out these courthouse guards and just do the best they could to kind of keep an escape route open, I'm assuming, for them once they do get Nico Robin and need to get out. And you see them fighting fiercely, you know, and the courthouse guards are like, Jesus, why the hell can't we take them? There's only 3 of them anyway. And you get this great little flashback from Paulie, and it was really this that helped to solidify for me and feel a lot better about what happened in Iceberg's mansion, and how everybody was just so handily defeated by CP9. This whole chapter really did a great job, but the beginning of it was he's having these flashbacks to when him and Luffy were pinned down, and he asked him if he was strong, if he could beat these guys. Luffy was like, yes, this and that. The whole ideal behind it was that, and what's going through his mind is that when you're fighting for something or for someone, for a friend, for someone that you love, right, your strength is that much stronger. And what I liked about that is that's what I've always felt like and thought about when it comes to my family, you know, to my wife and kids. Mess with me? Fine. You know, I may have some words to say to you, but for the most part, I'm always going to try to do the best I can to avoid any type of physical altercation. You really, really have to push me hard to get me to want to go and push back and do something. You're 99 out of 100 times, you'd have to be the first one to throw a punch before I would go and defend myself and fight back. However, if you look wrong at one of my children, if you even think poorly about my wife or somebody that I care about and love, I will bring death and destruction upon you, your family, your job, anybody you care about, and I will hunt you till the ends of the earth. And that's just me, personally, you know. I'm sure that there's a lot of people, though, that feel that strong bond with family or with you know, good friends that have good friendship, or with their loved one, whether it be a girlfriend or a wife, whether it be their children, you know, younger brother, sister, siblings. I grew up in a big family, oldest of 6 kids, so obviously always trying to look out for younger brothers and sisters. So that's just how I was kind of raised, and how I've always had that instilled in me. And I like that because that's exactly what this chapter reflects, is that when you have someone to fight for, you are indestructible, you are unstoppable, and you are just that indomitable force that's just going to keep on coming no matter what, you know. And I like that. I liked it. And then we wind up going, we see We check in very quickly with, of course, the Sadamu and Gamora, the two king bulls that are carrying the rest of the Franky family, as well as, you know, of course, the Straw Hats, Sanji and Zoro, and Nami and Chopper, and we presumed Usopp. We find out that Sniper King, or Usopp, has never got on the bulls because Chopper's communicating with these bulls, and this was also a touching part, too. The bulls are loyal to Franky because they were actually inside the stomach of a Sea King that the Franky family had caught and killed and were eating. And they basically just said, hey, whatever, you know, and kind of like let them out and freed them, save their lives, save them from being digested by a huge sea monster. And so it's really cool to see that, and to see that's why they kind of got that whole family camaraderie type thing going, how they call Franky Big Brother. I think it really is. He's gone and he's developed and built these followers from people that maybe other ones would have overlooked or forgot about, and he's helped them, he's saved them, he's changed their lives, you know. So he's kind of like the white cyborg Oprah, you know. And but anyway, he seems to be a pretty good guy in that sense, and he has a lot of loyalty because of that. Because Sadamu and Gamora, who were communicating through, I think Sadamu was actually communicating initially with with Chopper, because they're riding on that one, you know, had said, and that's why we'll kind of ride or die with him, you know. So we also wind up going and seeing that Usopp, Sniper King, never actually got on. We don't know what happened to him. That's a plot thread that's going to be dangling there, and we'll see, hopefully pick up on that in the next couple of chapters, because they don't tell us anything else about that in this chapter. We then go in the meat and potatoes in the middle of the chapter. I thought was great. It goes back to Luffy and Blueno, and Luffy's just like, listen, I don't give a shit, just get out of my way, right? And Blueno's like, you don't understand, and you're doing this, and you're doing that, and basically, if you continue on with this with your ragtag group of, what, a few dozen, it's not going to end well. You're going to be persecuted and hunted to the ends of the earth, right? And Luffy's just like, I don't really give a fuck. I'm not going to stop, right? I'm here for Robin. So Luffy goes and charges himself up, and I thought this was sweet, right? And this is where it shows you the difference in strength and power based on when you're fighting for something, or when you're just kind of like, hey, what happened? Why are we in a fight? And what happened before in the mansion, they were just kind of like, hey, what happened? We're in a fight. Why? And I didn't quite grasp that right then, I think, you know, at the time and whatnot, and got very irritated with how things played out, because I felt like it was so one-sided. But it really just shows the difference in strength and power between fighting for something and, of course, not. So now he's fighting for something. Luffy just kind of gears up and come, and Blueno's like, iron body, you know, with his little iron body. And now Blueno almost got his clock cleaned by Sanji with a kick earlier, too. And we know that you know, that Luffy can obviously whip some ass and has some just crazy ass strength. So Luffy just rifle, and I mean, he boom just nails him, you know. And Blueno goes and gets knocked the fuck back. Now it looks like he gets knocked out at first because his eyes roll up in his head, but he basically just took a hit, right? And Blueno was like, what the hell is going on? He wasn't nearly this strong when we were fighting at the mansion, you know? Because Blueno, while he's talking all this shit, is like, you don't understand, obviously, you know, the demonstration of our 6 powers at Iceberg's mansion. You know that our power is far superior to yours, you know, that bullshit, right? And Luffy he don't give a fuck, right? So Luffy gonna come at him with the Gatling gun, pop, 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 and he's coming at him, and Blueno, shave, you know? And Luffy just fucking boom, jacks him up, man. And I mean, there's stone and debris flying everywhere, and there's Blueno just shit and spit and blood flying out of his fucked up face. And Luffy is just, man, he is done. You know what I mean? He's gonna put a hole in this mother, you know. Anyway, and I don't want to like try to keep it down a little bit. But anyway, so he goes over there, and then he goes and he just says, do whatever you want with the world government. Like, I don't get world and the government. I don't give a shit, right? We just came to get Robin back. And that's straight up, that's just Luffy right there. That's just him manning up and just saying, you listen to me. This is how it's going to go down. I don't care about any of your politics. I don't care who's going to come and hunt me down and try to kill me, and I'm going to do this and that. I'm getting Robin back. If you're in my way, I'm going to go through you. Do you understand? Or step over your dead, rotting fucking corpse after I'm done taking you out. And anyway, that's probably a little bit too graphic there, so we'll just tone that down a little bit for the younger viewers. I apologize. I like seeing him. I get, oh boy, I get really charged up. So anyway, we wind up seeing then, we go back to, for the last few pages, Sadamu and Gamora, and they're basically, you know, Sanji and Zoro. I like Zoro too. He's just like, they're like, we gotta go back, we gotta find Usopp. He's not as strong as like Luffy and everything else. And I love Zoro. He's like, listen, each island that we go to, everybody winds up getting stronger, And he winds up dodging death on each and every one, okay? So there's no way, there's nobody in this crew that isn't good at you know, kind of not having an untimely visit from the angel of death, you know what I mean? We're all good at cheating death, you know? And I really like that explanation. He'll be fine, don't worry about it. And then what winds up happening is one of these world government assholes actually goes and has what looks like, it looks through a scope of a sniper rifle and actually fires like an artillery shell right into Sadamu's chest, you know, and goes and he's slowing down, and Chopper's like, we gotta stop, we gotta, you know, we gotta help him, we gotta this, we gotta that. He tells Chopper, no, fuck that, we're going, keep going, right? And then at the end of the chapter, it looks like all the Franky family jumps off of Gamora and keeps him going forward, right? And I think the Franky family is going to stop here and take out some guys and whatnot and kind of cover that exit route, that retreat. That's what it looks like anyway, to me at the end of the chapter, because that's how the chapter ends off over here. And man, like I said, just a lot of touching things in this chapter. But really the theme for me is that having something to fight for can make you a much more powerful, formidable foe. And that's the absolute bottom line truth, because you know, I can tell you from experience that when somebody messes or hurts a loved one of mine, that I go next level on that. You know, I go next level. And it doesn't matter about age or size or speed or how hard you can hit or how fast you are. All those things really go out the window when it comes to that, because you're fighting with pure adrenaline and with and really for the love that you have for someone else. It's that love and admiration and adoration that you have for somebody else, and not wanting to see them suffer or get hurt, that really helps to kind of take you and put you to the next level, you know. So very cool stuff, man. My chapter question, of course, though, is really going to be, you know, what are your thoughts on that? And has anybody here as well, brothers and sisters, have you ever experienced something like that where, and it doesn't even have to be so much a physical altercation. I'm not condoning fighting or beating people up or whatever, but was there an occasion that you have gone to the next level, so to speak, for a loved one, you know? And I shouldn't always use physical things as well, because there's times where I've gone with, like my sister, for instance. I went once to help her find a vehicle, a car, you know? And I wound up, I mean, I was hard-nosed negotiating and wound up getting her, you know, she wound up buying a used Jeep Cherokee, but I wound up getting the thing for like $1,800 off. And I mean, I threw everything that I possibly had at this guy. I like physically got up and walked out after I like wiped shit off of his desk and said, you know what, we're done with you and your bullshit. You know, you don't want to give me that price? Fuck it, we'll go somewhere else. And but it's funny because I've gone to do the same thing for myself, and I'm like, yeah, whatever. I'm like a pushover when it comes to me. It's really odd. So so my whole point is just you know, have you ever first of all, do you agree with that type of mentality and how they explained it in here about it? When you have something to fight for, obviously you're just that much stronger. And have you ever experienced anything like that yourself? Leave your answer to the question in the comments down below. Feel free to hit thumbs up, like button if you think that I deserve it. Can't even talk, even in another language, or even in an accented language. Subscribe if you haven't done so already, and we will look forward to catching all of you in the next Fun Nation.
Remember to follow me on my other channels on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram too. Hey!